Annie? My goodness, you've grown.
So have you. Grown more beautiful, I mean.
It snowed well very last night. I hope you're doing alright. It snowed there very last night.
Message after message.
You're the city.
R2, go back.
My powers have doubled.
May the 4th be with you. Today we are going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy Chrome Superfractors 1 of 1 on this episode. Rise and shine, it is Merleworld card time. May the 4th be with you. It is Star Wars time all day today. Wednesday, May the 4th. It is 2021 Star Wars Chrome Galaxy. I'm going to talk about Superfractors. Those are the Superfractor Gold 1 of 1s. And if you all know who watch my show or the Great Curator show, you know I have already owned the 1 of 1 Superfractor of the Jedi a la Kurosawa that was designed by the art by Randy Martinez, and I bought it back in February at the Atlanta Culture Collision Show, and then sold it to the Great Curator at the Dallas Card Show, and then this past weekend the Great Curator sold it to DAP Sports for a whopping $16,000. So let's go back and see the history of the Jedi a la Kurosawa card. So here I am with this man. I can't believe I found one of my 2021 Star Wars Chrome Galaxy unicorns while out Atlantis Culture Collision Trade Show. I was already selling some of these cards. I had already sold some of the cards at the Dallas Card Show back in January, and they were a huge hit. I was one of the first people to sell them graded, and then I sold them again at the Atlanta Culture Collision. And I was telling this man next to me, the guy on the left, he sold this to me on Sunday, a closing day. I was about to leaving from Atlanta and about to leave to head out back to Los Angeles. And he was literally next to me the entire week selling cards. And he pulled this card out of his shoebox, and as you can see, it was already pre-graded. It got like a 93. His name is Georgia Collectibles Show. He really doesn't do much with Instagram. He only has 61 followers, 92 posts. But he pulled this out on Sunday out of his shoebox and goes, "I have this card for you." And he literally sold this card to me for $500 right before I was heading out to Los Angeles. And as you see, this is a gorgeous card. I thought he was going to try to sell it to me for a few $1,000s. I had that $500 in my right pocket. This is actually an X-Fractor of another card I want to show you pretty soon. So here it is. This was graded by some preview grading company called CS Jedi a la, they called it a Kurosawa. Well, that could be a K, but I don't know if that's misspelt. I think it's misspelled. I think they misspelled it Kurosawa. That's pretty funny. And it's a 93, so that would get a grade of a 9, which ended up getting. I sold it the next week in Dallas to Dan, the Great Curator, for almost $5,000 because he saw everyone trying to buy it from me. And he bought it from me on day one because he knew it was going to eventually get sold that day on day one or day two on Friday, literally, because people were giving me offers of like 2,500, 3,000, and he saw the hype really was happening and he couldn't take it anymore, and he ended up buying it from me and holding on to it. And then he just got it back about a week or two ago from PSA, and it got a PSA 9 mint, and he was hoping to take it around on tour with us when we would go to Dallas or Chicago or Las Vegas or Toronto or wherever, the National, wherever we're going to next this summer, and show it in his display case, because he was very happy about it and he was excited to show it off. It was going to be part of his curation. Hence, that's why his name is The Great Curator. And this was going to be part of the tour showing off the Superfractor Kurosawa card. And it is named after Akira Kurosawa, the great director who George Lucas was a fan of. That was an inspiration for Star Wars. Seven Samurai, the movie. DAP Sports comes to our table this past weekend at the Union Marketplace on Saturday afternoon. He is in cahoots with Eric Estrada, who's in the boy band O-Town for making of the band. Eric is in business with Matt, who is DAP Sports. If you all know, he has over 600,000 followers on TikTok. He's also on YouTube and Instagram under DAP Sports. That's DAPPZ Sports. And he's usually known for his sports cards. He's a big breaker. He's out of Los Angeles. I thought he was coming after Dan's Kobe Bryant card. But no, he is after the Kurosawa Superfractor 1 of 1. And he offers Dan $13,000. Dan freaks out. He doesn't want to give it up just for $13,000, since he pretty much has to pay almost $5,000 for the card. Dan counters, offers $20,000, then talks to Brian, Sunday League investor, and myself, and says, guys, I wasn't ready for this. I don't want to give it up so soon. What do I do? Brian, who knows nothing about non-sports cards, only soccer cards, says, dude, sell it for $13,000. I myself, who has a part of that card with, in my heart, my love is with that card. It was part of me. I was a foster parent to that card because I had it for, a few weeks before giving it to the great curator. I'm like, dude, I know how much that card means to you. You need to put up a fight, but don't look like an asshole. I know he's going to have to give it up because it's going to have to look good for the three of us, for not only for Dan, but for me and Brian, for three of us and the rest of the non-sports community and the Star Wars card community. It's going to have to come off positive note. He can't come off looking like a dick and this end up negative. He's going to have to sell the card during this transaction, during this filming. You're going to have to sell it. Put up a battle, but sell it at the end. You're going to have to sacrifice this card. It sucks, but you're going to have to do it for a price. And because it's going to mean more in the long term for us than the money. But negotiate. So Dan starts at $20,000, and then I think he goes to counters with $15,000. He throws down the dollars, as you can see in the video. I'll show some video. Here you see him. Dap's throwing down the money. That's very intimidating. He's got his camera guys, hundreds of people watching, the money on the table. Dan's sweating. His face is turning white. He doesn't want to do it. He's like, damn, what do I do next? He counters it again. I think maybe 18,000. I'm not sure. He comes back with 16. I think they finally settle on $1,650 or $16,500. They shake hands. The deal is done. It's going to a good home. The Superfractor is finally being sold for $16,500. Probably a world's record for a non-auto Star Wars card. I mean, I'm sure there's more than that, but for a modern Star Wars card, that's probably a record. For a non-vintage Star Wars card, for a modern Star Wars card, that is definitely a record. And that'll probably go viral today on May 4th, 2022. I cannot wait to see what happens with this card. I'm very excited. So everybody was like, Merlin, are you jealous that you didn't get that much for that card? And let me tell you, folks, you're going to egg me on, but let me tell you, I know I would never get that much for that card. I'm happy where I was with that card. Because why? Folks, I paid $500 for that card. And I found that card. I found it in a shoebox. That card would never be where it was today if it wasn't for me. If I didn't find that card in that man's shoebox, and if I wasn't talking to that man and all this other stuff happening, if I didn't grade modern Star Wars Chrome Galaxy cards and head to Atlanta and sell the cards and have my table next to that man, tell that man how much I love cards, and tell him that my favorite card was Randy Martinez Jedi like Kurosawa, I would have never found that card, and possibly no one else would have either. If that man had not liked me, he would have never offered anyone else that card, and for $500. True fact. And if I didn't have that card, the great curator would have never had that card. And the great curator would never have been able to hype that card up either. In order for Dapps Sports to get that card for $16,000, I would have never been able to sell that card for $16,000. I'm very content for selling that card for almost $5,000. Dan would never have been able to sell that card more than $16,000 either. And I'm very excited to see where this card goes on its journey. This is probably the sexiest card of all the Galaxy Chrome cards. I took it as far as I could. The great curator took it as far as he could. He handed the baton to Matt of Dapps Sports, and I am excited to see where Dapps Sports takes the Kurosawa card next. Great things are going to happen with Star Wars cards, and I cannot wait. It couldn't have happened if it wasn't for all of us getting involved with it. So let's talk about the next adventure. What do I have next up Merlin's sleeve? There is 100 cards in the Galaxy Chrome set and the regular set. That means there are only 100 regular Superfractors in existence. I think there's only like 10 that people know of that are out there. I think there's also like the Rebel Fighter. I think that's on eBay right now. I have owned 2 of them. That I owned the Kurosawa, which was the sexiest one. But did you know I owned the cutest one? You want to see it? Let me introduce to you the cutest Superfractor of them all. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. We are bearing gifts. Is that not the cutest one of them all? It is a very cartoon animation version of C-3PO and R2-D2. PSA graded 9 a mint, just like the Kurosawa. This artwork is designed by Nathan Hamill, is Mark Hamill's son. That is Luke Skywalker's real life son, Nathan Hamill. So I have owned the sexiest Superfractor, and now I own the cutest Superfractor of them all. Where can I take this one to next? Can I sell this one to the curator for $5,000? Can I sell it to Dapps Sports for $16,000? Or can I take it to another level? Or will it just sit with me for the rest of my life? Let's find out. This is Merlin for Merleworld Cards. I'll see y'all on the next Merleworld Card Show. May the 4th be with you all.